Hello, gorgeous souls. I am so excited and happy to have you here in my space, and thank you so much for sharing space with me. This is actually, if you're here at my channel, Aeipathy today, this is my very first video. If you're seeing it when it is being first uploaded, it is my first video. Pretty exciting, but pretty nerve-wracking as well. So please afford me some grace as I get going with this journey and begin my process of kind of engaging with the collective to provide my intuitive insight and my interpretations of the tarot. I've never done anything like this before, but I've been feeling called to for quite a while, so I'm going to give it a go and we're going to see how it goes. I'm very, very eager to begin and to just see how this transforms. Again, very, very exciting. And thank you so, so much for being here. I appreciate every single soul that crosses my path in one way or another. And I hope that in some capacity I can be of service to you. With that said, let's go ahead and get right into the reading. This is going to be the most popular reading probably that I see on YouTube and that you probably have seen and or watched many times with other readers, which is, how is your person feeling about you? Feelings and emotional energy are really, really great because it belies whatever actions or 3D happenings could be taking place or not taking place. So regardless of the status of your connection to your person of interest, this is going to kind of dig a little deeper and give you the true energy that's currently going on with them. So I really like these. These are my personal favorite readings to watch and to listen to. And I just thought it was very befitting to have that be the first one that I bring to you too. So go ahead and take a moment to reflect on each of the three piles that I have here today for you and decide which one fits best or which one calls to you, which one your intuition is kind of urging you to align with to get their messages. And I just would like to say as well, that there are times where you may feel that a reading doesn't resonate for you. You're drawn to a pile, you pick the pile, and then it ends up not actually being seemingly the reading for you. This has happened to me personally, and I just want to say that even if it doesn't immediately hit home, to know that there could be little bits of wisdom and insight within the reading that are still meant for you. So take whatever you can of value from the reading, leave behind anything that doesn't resonate, and even pick a different pile if necessary. But hopefully we're going to get you some good guidance today, some really great information and a little bit of insight on their feelings and how you can best move forward with the connection. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the three piles today. The first is going to be actually a Kickstarter deck, a really beautiful deck that's from Argentina, and it is the Tarot del Tango. Beautiful red and gold color, and that's paired with, I want to say that's Blood Jasper Tower. Middle pile is going to be Rainbow Fluorite, and that's paired with the Wandering Star Tarot, another beautiful rainbow colored deck. I love colorful decks, and this one is just probably one of my favorites. It's truly, truly stunning. And then the third, which is in the top 5 that I'm using right now, it's also a newer tarot. Chris Ann, who's one of my favorite deck creators, she has made a tarot that's really unique and kind of odd, actually. But it's called the Tarot of Curious Creatures. And that's paired with this beautiful, I want to say, you know what? I'm not even going to guess. You guys, please give me grace as I sit here and navigate all of these different ins and outs of spirituality, because even though I've been practicing for a while, crystals is a new endeavor for me. So I'm not real clear yet on what all the crystal names and origins are. So you'll have to tell me in the comments if you know what this is, but isn't it stunning and gorgeous and like beautiful? I'm going to bring this up and see if you guys can see it. Like, there's just so much going on in here. There's like lavender and there's like a wine color. There's a little bit of, if you can see it, looks like quartz in there. Anyway, it pairs perfectly with this deck. I absolutely love how it matches, and I like to be a matchy-matchy person, so that worked out well for me. Go ahead and select your pile. I will meet you at your pile, and we will go ahead and get started. Hi, pile 1. this is your pile that you chose, which is the Tarot del Tango and the, I'm going to call this the Bloodstone Jasper Tower. But yeah, anyway, so this is going to be a reading today, as we discussed, on how is your person feeling about you currently. I am shuffling on camera just lightly, but I also have shuffled always off camera for reasons just like that, because sometimes, especially with nerves kicking in, the shuffles aren't always perfect, but just know that they've been thoroughly shuffled, and you know, that they're vetted, okay? Like the decks are definitely thoroughly cleansed and shuffled and prepared before they appear on air. Okay, how I go ahead and do this with my spreads is I'm going to pull 4 cards across the top, and those are going to be the main cards in the spread, the main indicators of what's going on in the energy of this person, how they're feeling. And then I'll pull clarifiers underneath, and we're also going to pull some oracle cards, possibly towards the end. We'll see how much time we have. Also, just know that I have a very rudimentary setup right now because I'm just getting started. So there was a lot of finagling today in order to get everything working how it needed to, with the tripod and the camera and all of those good things. So I'm going to see how it works after I go ahead and get the first video done, how everything looks, how, look at that. That's okay. Get you together. I shouldn't talk and shuffle. I'm not used to that either. But anyway, hope you enjoy my humor also while I'm here. I am very, very, I'm not serious. I try to be funny and inject humor into everything as much as possible. So we're here for that too. Hopefully you are as well, and that's your vibe. If not, no worries, but that's what you're going to get here. Anyway, so with that said, like I was getting at, is this is a very like basic setup, and so I'm going to just still have to play around with like how everything is situated on the surface area and how I have space to fit everything and all of that. So just know that things will probably be adjusted as I progress along and get better at it. All right, so for pile 1, how is their person currently feeling about them, Spirit? What is pile 1's person's current emotional energy and feelings for them presently? We have the 7 of Swords. We'll put that guy over there. Okay. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the 9 of Swords. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Clarifying. 2 of Pentacles. These are Wands. Forgot. This deck, it's a little different. You would think those would be Pentacles. They're Wands. And this, I believe, are the Pentacles. The 4 of Wands. And the 10 of Cups. Okay, so I took a second just to double check the suits for this particular deck because I haven't worked with it for a moment and I wanted to be sure I was correct. So to recap, we have the 7 of Swords clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune clarified by the King of Wands. These are Wands. I keep wanting to think that the lamps, obviously representing light, would be Wands, but they're not. They're Pentacles, so they're Pentacles, and these are Wands. We have the 9 of Swords, and it's clarified by the 4 of Pentacles. And then we have the Five of Pentacles clarified by the Ten of Cups. Bottom of the deck, underlying energy is the Two of Cups, which is just beautiful. We're going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards as well. This is the Deep Place Oracle. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, probably one of the most beautiful that I have ever worked with or seen. And I love it that the deck creator is actually local to me. She created this deck and lives where I live. So it just makes it a little bit more special when it's just a really, really great, gorgeous deck that you enjoy a lot, and then the person is, has a connection to you, to your area. So I love it. We're going to get a few of these. How is pile one's person currently feeling about them? We have the veil. Oh, can we see that? Is it in shot? I believe it is. And the underworld. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is heavy energy. We've got a lot of swords going on. We specifically have the Nine of Swords, which is all about anxiety and fear. There's a lot of fear in this person. There's a lot of avoidance in this person as well. Seven of Swords being avoidance and could be sneaking off, sneaking away. I look to the Seven of Swords as not even just, I think I've heard other readers say like it's the lie, cheat, steal card, but it's also just for me a card of like flightiness and somebody just really not, on the up and up. They're not in good energy, certainly not. I'm going to just take a moment to really connect to these energies and just get a better feel for the storyline of what's happening. I tend to, I traditionally read individually, so I'm going to try to keep the scenarios a little broader, but we'll see what comes through. They're drawing me to this King of Wands. As you can see here, he's, in almost like a, I want to say like a defensive stance. He's got like his feet situated apart. He's ready to either dance or something. He's ready to take some kind of an action. I don't think he's actually ready to fight. I mean, he's got this accordion instrument in his hands, but he's definitely in a very empowered stance. And the King of Wands is traditionally a very empowered energy. I like that it's situated underneath as the clarifier to the Wheel of Fortune. Obviously, the Wheel of Fortune being the only major arcana in this spread. It is representative of shifts and cycles and divine energy kind of taking over and moving things along. And it's also a sense of good luck or positive energy, positive movement. The turn of the wheel. You can see in this deck, this is actually depicting a captain's wheel for, like a boat. So all of those things, we've even got like the sea or the sky in the background there. All of this is representing movement to me. So something is shifting in your person. Even though there's a lot of fear here, there's a lot of desire to almost, again, avoid, not approach the situation, not make a decision, stay stuck with this Four of Pentacles energy, clarifying the Nine of Swords. There's still so much love here and happiness to be had. And you've got, the Ten of Cups, which is that beautiful emotional fulfillment. It's somebody feeling the happiest they could possibly feel, knowing that that's possible, knowing that they've had it before, even though currently in the Five of Pentacles energy, they're feeling very down. They're feeling very disempowered, shut out, perhaps even, just very, very lack. I'm hearing a sense of lack, a very strong sense of lack. They don't have these 10 of Cups. They're in a lack mindset right now, but that can change, obviously. And then underneath all of this is the Two of Cups. So if you're wondering if this person loves you or has very sincere feelings for you, this card says absolutely. This person has a very deep connection to you or feels a very deep connection to you. You could consider this to be a soul connection. I don't know that I necessarily look at this and automatically think this is a soul connection, like a soul connection card. It can mean soulmates. I would just say it represents a very deep emotional closeness. And it's, oh, can't even see that card. Could you guys even see it? Oh my goodness. Okay, like I said, first video, this is how it goes. Anyway, so just know that that's the bottom underlying energy there, and it's just beautiful. It's really, really great. This tells me that regardless of anything else going on, these two cards right here, the underlying energy of it all, and the major energy that completely overrides anything else, all of these swords, all of these, you know, feelings of stuckness or instability, of lack, all of that, it tells me that there's a really good base or foundation here of love. I want to get some clarifiers, further clarifiers. I'm a big clarifier. No shame in my game. I want to make sure I'm getting the messages through for you as they are intended, especially because nerves play a part in a lot of this. You know, when you're recording, I want to make sure that I'm fully tapped in and that I'm getting everything. So I just want to pull a couple more clarifiers for a few things. This is the World. Move that down so you can see it. The World. What are they stressed about? What are they feeling so upset about with the Nine of Swords? We have the Three of Swords and El Loco, which is the Fool. I have to tell you, when I pulled the World, I already sensed that there was some kind of an ending that they were either avoiding or that they're not facing. So they're either not facing it at a practical level, which I'm less inclined to steer in that direction because it's swords energy, which swords also represent mental clarity and acuity and our thought process. So it's almost, it's a happy ending. You know, the World represents the ultimate completion and fulfillment, but for some reason this person is avoiding that, it's almost like avoiding that happy ending or avoiding an ending of some sort to make way for something beautiful to emerge. And then here we have the Three of Swords, which can represent heartbreak, obviously, emotional imbalance, emotional distance, and the Fool. So how they're feeling is, I'm feeling a lot of heaviness and stress regarding something in the past. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a breakup. So if you're in separation with your person, if you've had a breakup with them, I'm going to be honest, they've tried to move on and yet they can't. And so that makes sense why they're feeling stressed with this Nine of Swords energy, and then clarified by the Four of Pentacles, because they're stuck. They don't know what to do. They want to move away from this pain. They want a new beginning. They want a new start. They want this emotional fulfillment. They want it, I think, with you still, the Two of Cups. And they do still feel like this is divinely guided, like this connection is really still, that it's still something that isn't done. I think of the wheel as also representing like the cyclical nature of life, and how with a circle there's no beginning and no end. It's never ending. If this is a soul-based connection as well, Two of Cups, you know, there is no end. That's forever. Your soul is tied and enmeshed energetically with this person. And I think they feel that. But that's also a burden. It's a burden because this is such weird energy to me. It's almost like avoiding happiness as well. Avoiding happiness, avoiding the possibility of an ending or even a happy ending. I just think they're lacking some grounding right now with this Two of Pentacles. You know, there's just something not right in their energy. They can't settle. They're staying stuck. They're not doing anything. In fact, I'm saying again, I think this is definitely a breakup energy. It's definitely not somebody that I think that you're in contact with. If everything is great in your connection and you're just wanting to check in on them, or you're even thinking to yourself, you know, things are pretty okay, we're still in contact and connecting, you know, what have you, pick a different pile. This is for people that are going through a breakup or a separation of some sort, and it's painful. And they just feel like they've lost that sense of lack. They've lost all of this happiness, this emotional fulfillment that they had, even though they still feel it. They're still connected to you. They just feel such a sense of lack, such an anxiety, such a painful feeling about all of this, and yet they still don't want to give up entirely. As much as they are kind of maybe in the 3D world wanting to move on, they haven't yet, but maybe they're wanting to do that. They're hoping for that. More so, it's moving past pain, moving past the pain, wanting a new beginning. But even though they want this, and that wheel is turning for them, and they're getting their power back, that power is going to enable them to go from the Five of Pentacles to a 6, where they can feel more empowered and able to reciprocate and have that energetic exchange of love with you. I just think right now that they're really struggling with this. I'm trying to keep it general, but you know, I'm also sensing with the Two of Pentacles that we could definitely have an issue of instability in the physical, real world, the material world, in our 3D circumstances. This could be a job loss. This could just be a lack of sense of direction in life if this is a very young person. This could be, you know, an addiction of some sort. Something in their life is just very unsettled, which is allowing them to also not be able to focus and just wanting them to avoid. Let's go ahead and get to our oracle. I'm going to move that card out of the way. First card that we have is the Veil. If you can see this, I hope it's focusing. Oop, I'm trying to get it. There we go. This card has got a lot going on. There's lightning. I feel like there's water towards the bottom here. There's the veil obviously covering her eyes, and yet, you know, she's able to see. She can see through that veil. Ooh. A little bit of a spill of the cards here. No big deal. It's off site. You can't even see it. You can only hear it. I want to go ahead and just read these from the book because they're so good. They're so good, and this deck creator has really made a unique oracle. One thing to know about this deck is that there's cards that are above and below. I would represent the cards, or say that the cards represent more, not so much positive and negative energies, but like deep and then deeper energies. And this is a below card. The Veil is a below card. And I'm going to read it from the book for you. It says, there's more to reality than what we see with our eyes, hold in our hands, and know for certain. There's imagined possibility and infinite mystery on the other side of the veil. And the boundaries between aren't so fixed. Sometimes we see, feel, or sense a hazy vision or vague impression of what lies beyond. Sometimes we see right through or past the edges. Sometimes the veil drops completely, giving us a clear view of a magic we hoped but weren't quite sure existed. But in the moments when we can't see or feel the other side, when the more feels out of reach, like a distant dream, what might it mean to remember that infinite possibility is right here? That we're separated from the magic by nothing more than a veil. It represents closeness, separation. So again, it's coming up right next to this Three of Swords energy. Edges, connection, impression, intuition, and vision. I would say that for this card in particular, this person feels that there's so much that they could have with you, but it's out of reach right now. And yet it's not, because if you think of a veil, it's very thinly or loosely covering something. So it's just slightly creating a little bit of a barrier. It's not fully obscuring the reality. So this person knows, okay? They know how they feel about you. They know that this is something really good that they want to have in their life long term. Just feeling a little lost right now. They can't entirely see the way. Their vision is a little skewed, but they still have a general idea of that bigger picture. Again, this card also references connection, the Two of Cups, and separation, the Three of Swords, and also this idea of dreams still being possible, coming true with the Wheel of Fortune. That's the main energy here, you guys, is that Wheel of Fortune card. We also have here the underworld. I love that there's so much going on in this. So we have a skull, which to me makes me think of death, transformations being possible. That relates to me with the wheel card and just feeling like the Wheel of Fortune and death are very closely tied. They both represent huge shifts. And I think a shift is definitely coming for your person soon, which is pretty exciting. I feel a really good energy as I say that even. We've got the rose here, which to me just represents kind of like that feeling of like abundance. It's in full bloom. That rose is beautiful. It's that deep red color, which to me just makes me think of love. Even though the heart chakra is green, it does make me think of love. It makes me think of that passion, that vibrancy, and that's obviously the most prominent image. It's the only really colored area of the card. And it's the biggest, and it's right above that death. So even as it may feel so hopeless right now for this person, or very heavy, very dark, I'm feeling and hearing, there is this greater awareness of this love here. The moon, also situated, represents intuition, represents this person knowing very deeply, what can exist between you. And it's just about tapping into that power, allowing that wheel to shift, not being so avoidant. With the Seven of Swords card, they're very avoidant right now, and it's just because they just don't fully know the way. Again, they're concealed a little, the veil, but those candles are lit. That flame for you hasn't gone out. Let's go ahead and see what the book has for that. So if you can believe it, the underworld card is actually an above card, which represents kind of like the lighter energy of this deck. And it says, sometimes life pulls us into the underworld, a disorienting and liminal space where we meet sorrow, grapple with the unknown, experience death, and prepare to be reborn. Our journeys through the underworld are never easy. There's injury to acknowledge, betrayal to reckon with, and devastation to confront. The underworld invites us to be in this space between death and rebirth as we wander the shadows and wonder if we'll ever see daylight again. But the underworld also invites us to find ways to step into our power and embody our sovereignty, even as we grapple with forces beyond our control, looking and reaching for who we might become next and what might emerge from the mystery. The themes are death. Okay, so we were on track there. Disorientation, definitely. Alchemy, journey, shadow, rebirth, and sovereignty. Again, sovereignty represents and references this idea of having control, being empowered, this King of Wands energy. And right now this person is not. So they're feeling very heavy. There's a lot of heaviness, a lot of darkness right now, a lot of pain. But the love is there. You guys, I just want to keep you in the know and keep you focused on that energy, because it's there and it's very deep, and they know that there is a lot more untapped potential and happiness that can be had between you two. Pile 1, that was your reading. It's short and sweet. I don't think it went too long. But I hope this helped. I hope that this gave you some clarity on your situation with your person, how they're feeling about you. I am going to go ahead and close this off by providing a guidance card for you and how you can best move forward through these energies. And for that, I'm actually going to use the Moonology Manifestation deck by Yasmin Baland. I have her original deck as well, but this one is just stunning. It's the newer version, and it's incredible. It really is. So really enjoying using this. Can we get some guidance for pile 1, please, with this situation, with this connection to their person? What do they most need to know, or what insight and advice can you give them? What's the guidance for them, please, Spirit? We have take a breather, last quarter moon in Cancer. So Cancer, I'm a Cancer. I'm allowed to say this. We're very emotionally deep people. It can sometimes come across as moody. But at the same time, there's just so much depth there. There's so much feeling. So again, there's a lot of feeling here. But to take a breather just means to take a step back, take a time out, allow that space. If there's a separation here and even you're feeling anxiety about it, I'm sure you are too. Just know that these energies can and likely will shift. This person is coming into their power shortly. It's that wheel's beginning to turn. So it will soon. And in the meantime, you just need to keep your emotions in check and under control and balanced. Do your best to take a break, to stay aligned. Reflect, emerging you, because Spirit is guiding me to tell you that you need to reflect on this past connection with this person, what's gone on with them, maybe just before the separation, or whatever this situation is that's resulted in the breakdown of the connection or the relationship, and consider truly how you can make this work going forward, even to have this person in your life in any capacity, because I do think it's possible to resurrect this, but not if you don't take that time for yourself and take that step back to realign. That's really important for you. Cancer's about feeling your emotions, but also processing through them, honoring that need. I think that's really important for you at this time. These are really heavy energies. Again, I'm sorry if you're feeling in pain or really upset about this as well, because I know how that goes. But again, hope this was helpful to you, that it provided you with some clarity and insight and brought you peace. And I'm going to see you next time, hopefully. Please make sure to subscribe if you liked this reading and if it resonated and was meaningful and of value to you. I'd appreciate it so much. Let me know in the comments as well if you feel guided to share anything. And again, I appreciate you so much. Take care and have a great day. Hi, Pile 2. Thank you for sharing space with me today and coming and stopping by at my very first video. So Pile 1, that went pretty well, working the kinks out, but it was a very heavy energy. So I'm hoping for something a little lighter. I would think that it might be, because this is the rainbow fluorite here that you've picked, and also this beautiful, colorful tarot, the Wandering Star Tarot, which is just gorgeous and beautiful and makes me just feel very uplifted. The star obviously being an indicator of hopefulness and optimism. All of these colors just being very cheerful to me. So anyway, let's get into your reading. We're wanting to know how Pile 2's person is currently feeling about them. As I stated with Pile 1, I am shuffling obviously on camera for you guys, but just know that because I just feel the need to, I vet all of my decks very well before I begin, which means I cleanse them. I make sure that they are well shuffled, even off camera. And I do a whole lot to ensure that the integrity of the readings are always intact, especially because of things like that. Sometimes, the shuffling is a little shaky, but we're going to do our best. I'm going to go ahead and pull 4 cards. Up top is the main energies. I'll pull 4 clarifiers, 1 for each to correspond underneath. And then we'll also go ahead and pull a couple of oracle cards for you. And to close it out, a little bit of guidance. All right, how is Pile 2's person feeling about them? What is Pile 2's person, excuse me, Pile 2's person, their feelings and current emotional energy. King of Wands. I love it. King of Wands even came out in pile 1 as well. The High Priestess. Beautiful. I love these cards in particular because, as you can see here, I don't know if you can see, but they have all those keywords. So it's a little cheat sheet for us. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords came out in the first reading too. My goodness, wow. And weren't we just talking about this? The Star. Beautiful. I can already sense that this is a lighter energy. So that's nice. That's refreshing. I want to give good readings. I want to tell people happy things, you know, just make them feel good, but also be real. Get you guys on the right path. The Ten of Pentacles is clarifying the King of Wands. The Four of Pentacles for the High Priestess. The Queen of Cups for the Seven of Swords. Love that. That's my card. Cancer. And the Two of Cups, which also was a big part of pile 1. I think these are very different circumstances and energies though. But anyway, we also have the underlying energy being the Four of Wands. Beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh. And then even the Nine of Cups underneath that. I'm gonna just take both of those because I just feel like I want to. Oh my goodness. I feel like we could stop right here and I would just be like, your person loves you and everything's wonderful and great. I'm sorry, I'm really funny. I try to be really witty and funny and just inject humor wherever I can. So I'm sorry. I promise I take this seriously and we'll get down to business in a moment. But I'm still pulling cards right now, so no big deal. I am pulling some oracle cards from, this is the Deep Place Oracle. Ray Serafina Barker. First of all, she's created an amazing deck, and she's actually from where I'm from. So there's a local connection with this deck, and it's just, look at the backs even. Like, okay, stunning, amazing. For you, we have Wonder. Can we see that? Is that in shot? Yes, it is. And we have Deep Time. Hope everything can be seen pretty well. I'm going to take just a moment to tap into the energies of this person. First thing I'm guided to say is this person obviously definitely wants union with you. It's actually their wish fulfillment. It's the thing that they cling to most about this connection, is just this idea that you guys are going to eventually reach this perfect state of harmony, of togetherness, of a beautiful, beautiful family and home. You know, we've got the King of Wands clarified by the Ten of Pentacles, and that's somebody who's very driven. The King of Wands energy is somebody who is very motivated, as it says. They're inspired. You know, this is a go-getter. This is somebody where nothing is going to stand in their way. That energy is flowing big time to make this a reality. And what they want is the Ten of Pentacles, which is family, which is that harmony, which is that emotional and material fulfillment. It's the total package. It's that 100% happy ending. I'm guided to say, though, that with this High Priestess energy, which is an energy of almost mystery or things not being totally revealed, you know at a deeper level, but outwardly perhaps you don't. And it's clarified by the Four of Pentacles. And I just look at this card and I feel like this card is speaking to me about decisions and choice. And I don't typically read this card that way, or I don't think anyone really does. You know, Four of Pentacles means other things. I mean, you can even see the keywords there. But for me, with how she's holding these pentacles, you can see that she's balancing two in her hand. She's got one around her neck. She's got another above her. And I just feel like this also represents alignment and enlightenment and awareness. similar circle, as you can see, to the High Priestess energy. It's a very similar energy that to me just references like a deeper knowing, but maybe in the practical sense, not understanding how to get to this 10, how to get to that happy family energy. This is the only card that troubles me. And I'm a big clarifier. I clarify things all the time in my personal readings and in readings, self-readings. And so I'm going to definitely clarify this energy because I want to know what this is about. What is the Seven of Swords energy saying here, Spirit? One more. Three of Cups. This person is powerful as they feel. And I think it's an energy that they exude off. And this could even be a fire sign. I don't like to get too much into that because, anybody can embody any of the elemental energies. But, with it being the first card out, with this being so much passion and so much desire and so much good feeling energy here, it very well could be someone who just embodies that sense of optimism and inspiration. But it also could be somebody who just has that element very predominantly in their chart and could be born under that sign. As much as they have that and embody that, I feel like there's so much unknown still. Again, with this High Priestess energy, they don't quite understand how to bring this completely into reality, this Three of Cups. This could represent a third party. There are literally three people pictured on this card, and that was the first indication that I got. But I don't think it's a third party necessarily like a romantic partner. For me, this is almost striking me. There's so much family energy here, and there's this feel to me of a combining of energies, like joining a family or merging a family. Maybe there's a situation of like a blended family. Maybe each of you, have children or some other consideration. Maybe it's just your families that are at play here. But it's just this Seven of Swords energy for me. As much as it says dishonesty, theft, all of those things, I also see this as being something that relates to, obviously, mental strategy. Swords representing mental acuity and clarity, awareness. It is a card of trying to strategize and plan and figure something out, maybe something difficult. And it also can represent something hidden or needing to keep something hidden, safeguarding something. With the Nine of Wands energy, which is maybe somebody who's a little bit reserved and cautious, there's boundaries there in place. I do feel like this is, how can we make this situation work in the 3D completely when I have all of these big feelings, when there's all of this wonderful flow of energy between us, when there is this big obstacle, because it does feel like there is some type of a karmic obstacle with this one. With pile one, it was similar energy in the sense that the person felt very disempowered, so a different vibe to them overall. But what ultimately I think is the difference is that this person feels very inspired to take the action, as much as they may hesitate at times or be really cautious in the energy that they take. Maybe they don't immediately, the wand suit can be impulsivity, but I don't think this person is impulsive. The king of the suit is going to be somebody who is the most measured and balanced of that energy. It's the best representation, most stable representation of that energy. So for them, I think that they come through in a very honorable and measured way, even for a fire sign or for fire energy. I think that they go about this in a very good way, even if it takes them a moment to take action. They take good actions. They move things along, unlike pile one. But this idea of there being something in the way or a feeling of just some type of an obstacle is similar. With pile one, though, it felt like it was more individualized, like it was the person themselves and their state of empowerment or lack thereof that kind of was the issue, and this is more feeling like it's an external party. Queen of Cups. I very much think that that could either be My first thought is a mother figure. Now, this could be somebody's wife. If they have children with that person, they would also be a mother, or it could be someone's actual mother. But there is definitely somebody that is impacting this connection. I don't think it creates doubts in this person necessarily. I just think even though their inner knowing tells them like, I can have this, the practical side is like, what can I do? A lot of these cards are striking me as like, what can I do to make this work in the 3D? They have so much hopefulness, you guys. The star is a beautiful, beautiful energy of optimism and faith, and just this idea of like, I'm not losing hope. There's no way I can lose out hope on this. They have their eye literally on the prize, which is partnership and harmony and peace, like it says. And this Four of Wands energy underneath with the Nine of Cups, that's ultimately what they want. But there is something very big here that presents as an obstacle. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and tap into these cards now. We have Wonder and we have Deep Time. The Wonder card, again, gives me a feeling back to this High Priestess energy of kind of like knowing deep down, but then also this idea of like maybe so much good stuff could happen, so many good things. There's so much optimism and wonderful, happy, positive, uplifting energy here, but it's also just the idea of that unknown. What exactly is it? You know, what exactly can we have here? I want these things. These are things that they want to have, that they believe are possible to an extent, but can I really have them? Can we really make this work? If so, how? What can I do? How can I balance out my practical affairs? How can I make this work in a practical, real world sense? I'm also going to go ahead and read the descriptions of these two oracle cards from the book because she's done such a wonderful job of that. This deck is divided mostly in what they call above or below energies. And I don't think those represent necessarily like positive versus negative, but it's more like deep energy or deeper energy, maybe a little bit heavier. So let's see here. Wonder. Well, my goodness. I think this has happened several times when I've looked up this card. I always miss it. Like the first time I'm looking, if you can see here, there's like so many different names, and I somehow miss it like every single time. It's actually under the liminal category, which is a third category within this deck, how it's divided. And to me, that represents kind of, it's almost like the spirit suit for card decks that have that fifth element. It's something outside of our everyday world. Wonder says, our world is a wonder. Day and night, light and color, water and air and earth, freedom and flight. There's so much vastness and possibility, beauty and mystery in the ordinary, in what we see every day. What might it mean to make time for awe and wonder? To remember our place in the deep story and vast unfolding of things. To feel our smallness, but also our bigness. To hold an awareness that we're standing on the edge of something alive and beautiful and possible always. The themes are mystery. Again, like I said, mystery with the High Priestess. The ordinary, awareness, and awe. So this person's definitely in awareness about this connection and what they want. I want to just draw your attention once again to these two cards that both have this like circle of illumination. I'm going to just actually do this. This is easier. Look at that. Like, could you get a more synchronistic image in two different cards? There's enlightenment going on. There's awareness going on. There is a deep knowing, even if the surface level feels mysterious and unknown, or even a little intimidating and scary. We have deep time. I love, just like in pile one, there's syncs definitely with this. I don't know if it's a different energy and it's heavy. Don't feel guided to go watch that part if you don't think it really could resonate for you. But if you do think that there's any kind of similar energy to a person maybe feeling at times disempowered, it may even almost be like the same type of a person, but on a good day they're this pile two, on a less good day they're pile one. But a similar card came out that was very dark and deep. It had the moon, it had a rose, and that just represents to me intuition and love, and all of these wonderful things about tapping into this beautiful deep energy of emotion. Let's go ahead and see what deep time has to say. Deep time is a below card, so it's a deeper energy. Deep time says, time is a deep and infinite space that connects us to all things, to the past, present, and future, to those who came before us and those who will come after, to the cyclical turning of the universe in motion. It's a passageway through which we receive echoes from the past, glimpses of the future, a space where eternity finds us exactly where we are, as we are. Deep time reminds us that we are participants in an ancient and unfolding mystery. Again, mystery. A bigness we can never fully comprehend, but are a part of, nonetheless. What reaches for you across the infinite sea of deep time? The themes are lineage, vastness, eternity, and presence. It's interesting that the concept of lineage came up because lineage represents to me this idea of a generational pattern or cycle or connection. We've got so many, Four of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, even the Three of Cups with those different energies all present there, that there could be a family tie. So when I think of deep time, I think of no matter what it takes, I'm going to dive deep. There's so much, as it said, vastness. There's so much potential. There's so much untapped here that can happen. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles is a really lofty goal. I'm going to just point that right out. Especially if you guys don't even have anything really solid in the 3D yet. You may have this Two of Cups energy, feeling this connection, but it may be lacking in a practical sense. You may not actually be able to be together in a home environment like they want, or a family dynamic like they want. And the deep time card just says that there's so much vastness and untapped potential. There is such mystery about this person's feelings, in a sense, because it's like they have these deep feelings, they have all of these dreams, but they are grounding them. They are grounded, at least in terms of intention. I would say the intention is there when I see so many pentacles, or I see such grounded, secure energies. And at the same time, there's such an element of like, will it really ever happen? Is it going to happen for us? When are things going to shift? I think that that's where he or she, or this person, is sitting currently. Let's go ahead and pull some guidance for you, pile two, on how you can best navigate this situation, how this person's feeling right now, how you can, best support the connection, move forward with yourself and your divine path. We're using the Moonology Manifestation deck by Yasmin Baland. I own her first deck, and this one, I have to say, is probably my favorite of the two. It's just stunning. The backs are even like insanely gorgeous. What guidance do you have, Spirit, for pile two about their person, about this connection? Relax, new moon in Cancer. We pulled a Cancer card as well for the first pile one. And I am a Cancer, and I love that we're having all of this Cancer energy. Even Queen of Cups came out. I just love it. New moon in Cancer. The card in the first pile, the guidance was to take a breather. This one is to relax. Ooh, hopefully it's focusing for you. Relax in the knowing that this person has it covered. You don't need to take any kind of action. I feel like sometimes you strongly want to help move things forward here. I think that you are such a go-getter, and you're also impatient, let's be real, that you want to help move this along a little bit more quickly than it has. And I just don't think that that's necessary, nor that that's going to be for your best and highest good. The King of Wands is somebody who's just definitely in their power, definitely feeling motivated and driven, and they're going to make this happen, pile 2. It's going to happen. You can't rush the divine timing of it. You know, that's why your guidance is to relax and lean into these energies. Trust this person that they've got it covered and that they're going to make it work. They're going to make a way for it. It's just going to, I think, take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, our favorite word. So pile 2, that was your reading. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that it brought you some clarity and peace. If it did resonate, I'm not asking you to take anything in that doesn't speak to you and to your situation, but if it did and you feel guided to, please go ahead and like and subscribe this video. That's going to help the channel grow. It's going to help me obviously feel uplifted and motivated and inspired, King of Wands myself, to keep coming back and creating more content. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will hopefully see you next time for another video. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, pile 3. So happy to have you here sharing space with me. I really, really appreciate you, of course, and I am so excited to do your reading. You have chosen probably one of my favorite decks right now, for sure. This is the Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. And you've chosen this beautiful, beautiful tower that I cannot remember what it is. Fun story about it, though. One thing that I love is matchy-matchy things, like, you know, not obnoxiously so, but when stuff coordinates really well together and it just seems like it was meant to go together, I love that. I love that so much. So I actually bought this tower first, and then it shipped to me, and by the time I had received it, I had purchased this deck. And then I was using the deck, I saw the card backs and I saw the tower, and I was like, this is like a perfect match. This is like insanely beautiful. I'm going to bring it up close so you can see. Like, stunning. There's those little bits of quartz or something along those lines, I believe, that are running through there. Anyway, I don't know if it's focusing for you, but there we go. There we go, a little bit. It's amazing and beautiful. So this is your reading. We're asking today, how is your person currently feeling about you? Everybody's favorite reading. And so far the other 2 piles have gone pretty well. Again, please excuse any kinks because I'm going to work those out as time goes on. But for now, we're just rolling with it. But they've been pretty good. They've been fairly different energies, definitely different circumstances. Pile 2 was a lot lighter, but had a little bit more practical barriers, and pile 1 was, you know, more of an internal problem. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here today with this one. As I've mentioned for both of the other piles, I do, you know, kind of a side-by-side shuffle like this. I do not riffle shuffle, really. My hands are pretty small. They look puffy for some reason on camera. I don't like that. Like, they're not puffy in person, I promise you. Or at least, you know, not so much, but they just look really, really kind of chubby on camera. I don't know. I guess camera adds 10 pounds regardless, right? If you're just your hands or what. That's another thing that I said is I'm very witty and humorous, and I try to inject funniness into all of my everything I do in life. So I hope that that's your vibe. If not, you can feel free to click off because that's what you're going to get here. I always take the readings themselves seriously, though. You'll see I'll shift a little bit in my approach and my energy once I'm connecting to source, but source, spirit, whatever you would like to prefer to call your higher power. But in the meantime, when I'm just chatting with you and shuffling, I like to get a little silly. That's how I am. So, how is pile 3's person feeling about them? Again, so I shuffle this way. I vet my decks very well before I come on camera, so I make sure that I am properly shuffling and cleansing and all of those good things before they are on the video. But I do this for you guys as well, just for added peace of mind. Let's go ahead and see, how is pile 3's person currently feeling about pile 3? What are their current feelings and emotional energy for them? Well, we've got the 8 of Cups here. Here we are. I want that to be straight. There we go. We've got the Ace of Swords. The 5 of Pentacles. This came out in pile 1. And the 2 of Swords. So how I do my spreads is I pull 4 main cards up top. I pull 4 clarifiers, 1 for each of the original main cards for added information down below. 4 of Cups, clarifying the 8 of Cups. And then I'm also going to go ahead and pull a couple of oracle cards for you to support the reading, and guidance card at the end. 7 of Swords for the Ace of Swords. 7 of Swords also came out for pile 2, I believe, and pile 1. 9 of Wands for the 5 of Pentacles. Fool 2.0, 2 of Swords. This literally is my favorite card in this deck. Underlying energy, bottom of the deck, was the 3 of Swords. Oracle cards that we are using today is an independent deck that I have purchased off of Kickstarter, which is called the Deep Placed Oracle. It's by Ray Serafina Barker. She's amazing, and this deck is probably one of the most stunning and gorgeous that I have ever seen. Look at this, is the back. Gold edges, like stunning. The veil is first, and that also came out already in pile 1. I love that this deck creator too is also from my area, so it's just something so beautiful that has got a local connection to me. Just makes me connect with it all that much better. And retreat. And I'm definitely feeling the energy of retreat here. This is also likely a no contact situation. This is somebody refusing to see the truth. This person is not awake, not aware, not wanting to be aware. I do think that you've had either an actual relationship or a long-standing connection with this person, and I think you've been through this same type of energy with them many times. I'm actually picking up more of your energy with this 4 of Cups card, which is almost like to say, because the 8 of Cups to me represents somebody taking a trip or a journey away from something, moving away from something. It can also be a moving on card. And it's clarified by the 4 of Cups. To me, that's just kind of like a, I'm done here, I'm not going to do this anymore, and I'm out. But why I feel your energy very strongly tied to this 4 of Cups card is because it just has this idea to me of, I'm tired of doing this. Even though there's animal heads on this deck, which let me just tell you, this deck is stunning in every way, shape, and form. But it's definitely weird, you know, like what does a bunny head have to do with this situation? Don't know. But you can see that the overall body language, which is what we're mostly reading into with these cards, is showing somebody who's just really, really tired, I think, of the same cycle. I look at these cups as like the same cycle repeating over and over. And this card, or this cup, looks a little different this time, right? It's a little shinier. It's got some rose tinted glasses up above. It's the color red, which to me signifies passion and inspiration and fire and love, definitely. That person's just kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm feeling that this time anymore. So you guys could be having mirrored energies for sure. But definitely somebody is walking away from this connection right now, or has declared and made a point of saying, I'm stepping away from this connection. The Ace of Swords being card of truth, of awareness, of mental clarity. You know, it's clarified by the 7 of Swords, which is actually presented in all piles today. So there's some element of either, you know, suspicion, a need to keep something secret, something avoided. There's just a very disingenuous energy about the Seven of Swords. No matter what way you want to spin it, you almost kind of can't absolve from the meaning that it often represents something, kind of underhanded or shifty. This person, I think, cut off communication suddenly. I think they either ghosted you or they kind of, in some way, shape, or form, snuck away. It's caused a lot of heartbreak for both of you on both sides. I think the underlying energy being the Three of Swords represents obviously a distance, an emotional distance, and possibly most likely a physical distance as well. And it's caused a lot of pain, but this person is just, even as bad as they're feeling about it with this Five of Pentacles, I'm sensing a little bit of aggressive energy. One second, please. Sorry for the mild interruption, but I do sometimes have to worry about somebody like ringing the doorbell or coming to the door, and I just want to reduce interruptions in that sense as much as possible. So I was concerned if that was going to happen with like the mailman or something, but we're good. As I was saying, so this person may feel, and does in fact feel, pretty low right now about everything, but I sense a lot of aggressive energy. We've got these predators, we've got this these really predatory, dominant animals that this one looks really ferocious, I can't lie, right? Like that doesn't look like somebody traditionally who is, the Nine of Wands character is normally somebody who's kind of reserved and holding back, a wounded warrior or somebody with boundaries. This looks like somebody angry, This is somebody who, as much as they feel disempowered or a sense of lack, a sense of loss, what have I done type of energy, there's a defensiveness there too. They could have cut you off in anger. There could have been a fight. I'm not feeling strongly that there was like a huge argument. There could have been harsh words. Ace of Swords is communication, of course, and that can always represent some kind of more difficult communication or words exchanged. But whatever the case, they've kind of dipped out. They haven't given you a proper ending. They're not even acknowledging this connection right now. I think as much as they want a new beginning, and that's what the Fool 2.0, which I'll get into that 2.0 energy in a second, but this Fool card being, what it is, which is newness, beginnings, starting, in this case, starting again with 2.0. With that infinity symbol there, this is saying like, it's not ending. I don't want this to end. They're blocked to that. Even though this energy is coming up as the clarifier, that's what they're blocked to right now, is to knowing at a deeper level that that's what they want. I think this person's feeling very triggered, very slighted, maybe themselves. They're definitely not seeing things entirely clearly. They can still see, and that is relayed to me because of this veil card. The veil energy of that oracle card speaks to, obviously the eyes being covered, and I can't help but also see that synchronicity in the Two of Swords card. There's a blindfold on this individual. They're not looking. Every single one of these cards, with the exception of the Fool 2.0, and even then it's like their head is shifted. Every single one of these cards, the person's eyes are kind of looking in another direction. Nothing straight ahead. Nothing really fully focused here in the now. And I think that the veil represents for them this idea of the fact that there is so much more to this connection. And yet what's happening is that they're closing themselves off to that. They really could see it. Just like how the idea of the Two of Swords card is an individual who's bound by self-limiting beliefs, self-restriction. They're not truly, restricted at a practical level where they couldn't get themselves out, but they're choosing to be restricted and to resist, to be in that resistance mode. That's the same as the veil. The veil only lightly covers up the person's face or eyes or their view. The perspective, the greater perspective can be there. It's just underneath that veil, which is very thin, but they're choosing not to see that. Right now, they're very much in defensive mode, and I'm checked out. There's been an argument. And I'm sensing a deep feeling of loss, but also nothing I can do right now. The reason the Fool 2.0 energy is significant, and it is my favorite card in this deck, the reason that it's my favorite is because it actually is so unique. Chris-Anne has created a Fool card that represents a new beginning, but doing something that you've technically done before over again with a renewed sense of energy to it. This person wants that, but they're just not taking it right now. They're not taking advantage. They're not seeing that opportunity. They're not ready for that leap. Right now, they're sitting in pain. They're sitting in a feeling of lack, of loss. They're just not ready. They're retreating. They're choosing to be blindfolded or blind to the truth. This isn't representative of energy that I think is going to continue to persist. I think it's more just the interim energy, but at the same time, again, it's very heavy, and predominantly throughout their energy currently is this idea of I just got to get away. It's also as a card of retreat, the Eight of Cups. I'm going to go ahead and read these two cards for you out of the book because she's done such a great job of explaining them. And it's a very different type of oracle, so I really love the idea of reading it to you exactly in the artist's or author's words. This deck is structured as above and below cards, and the veil is a below card, which I don't believe is representative necessarily of like a positive versus negative attribute to these cards, but more of like a deep and then a deeper energy. So the veil is a little bit of a deeper energy. The veil says there's more to reality than what we see with our eyes, hold in our hands, and know for certain. There's unimagined possibility and infinite mystery on the other side of the veil. And the boundaries between aren't so fixed. Sometimes we see, feel, or sense a hazy vision or vague impression of what lies beyond. Sometimes we see right through or past the edges. Sometimes the veil drops completely, giving us a clear view of a magic we hoped but weren't quite sure existed. But in the moments when we can't see or feel the other side, when the more feels out of reach like a distant dream, what might it mean to remember that infinite possibility is right here, that we're separated from the magic by nothing more than a veil? The themes of this card are closeness, separation, edges, connection, impression, intuition, and vision. So right now this person is lacking that vision. They're refusing to see, but at a deeper level they have that. And I do think that they want a new beginning with you, but right now is definitely not the time. They've retreated, they've ghosted you, or they've abandoned you. Essentially, that's how it feels. I know that that's got to feel terrible, but you can get through it, pile 3. Let's read what the retreat card has to say. Retreat is a card of the liminal space portion of this deck, which the liminal space to me represents almost like the ether or the spirit. When there's 5 elements in a tarot deck, sometimes artists do that, and then there's that 5th element being spirit, which represents otherworldly aspects. That's kind of what this strikes me as. So retreat says, retreat allows rest, invites perspective, and opens space for contemplation. We all need these moments and spaces away, interruptions to the daily flow of life, opportunities to power down and reset our systems. On retreat, we have time to explore what we've overlooked or ignored in the day-to-day of life, and we have space to pause, exhale, and let go so that we can begin again with intention and clarity whenever we're ready. The themes are rest, clarity, spaciousness, contemplation, and letting go. I don't want to trigger anybody, but trigger warning. This person right now feels like letting this go. They have let it go to a certain extent, but I don't think they want to do that permanently, and I don't think they're going to do that permanently. I do think that will eventually give way. I think this blindfold will come down. I think these defenses will come down. And I think that you'll hear from them again. They've retreated for now, but this Fool 2.0 energy is there, and that definitely speaks to something significant. That says that this person is thinking or has thought of a new beginning or wants that at a deeper level. And they're just not choosing it right now. They're choosing to be a little ignorant instead. I'm going to go ahead and pull some guidance for you. Let's see what guidance Source has. I'm using the Moonology Manifestation deck by Yasmin Blonde. She's an incredible deck creator. I own her first Moonology deck, which is stunning as well. But this one, my goodness, this is just a whole vibe right here. This beautiful, beautiful card deck. What advice, guidance do we have here, Spirit, for pile 3 regarding this connection? How can you best move forward in this connection and support the connection as you continue on your own individual paths? What guidance do we have for pile 3? Full moon in Aries, cool your emotions. There's definitely been an argument. There's been harsh words spoken, probably on both sides, and this person has decided, you know, this isn't for me. You've decided, I'm not doing this anymore. You both are mirroring each other in an energy of sort of giving up, releasing. But that's reactionary. That's impulsivity. Aries, ill-aspected, is a very, there's an aggressive energy to Aries. As a fire sign, you know, it's very passionate and inspired and wonderful in lots of ways, but it's also very, very fiery in an aggressive or violent way. Cool your jets, as my grandmother would say. Take time to cool your emotions and to just feel into the energy of what really belies all of this here, which is, you know, I think a better feeling connection, better emotions for each other than what's presenting currently. I do think you guys have cycled through this same type of a pattern many times before, and you're going to have to make some changes, both of you, if you want that Fool 2.0 new beginning. There's been a lot of pain. There's still a lot of pain in this connection. There has been past and there is presently, and if you'd like that to change for the future, I think it's important for everybody to respect their own emotions and to rebalance them, realign, so that there can be a restoral. There can be a renewed sense of clearer energy here. So pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I know that this is a little bit of a tougher energy to read, especially if you're in the middle of a huge argument with somebody or a disconnect. But I hope that it was of value to you, that it brought you some, you know, clarity and peace. If it did, I would love to have you subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more content. I definitely want to continue this venture, but it's all dependent upon what people think of my readings and how they receive them. So feel free, if you're guided to also share with me anything from your story or what you took from the reading in the comments below. And I'm going to see you guys next time in a future video. Take care. Bye-bye.